in green. I was thinking it was Alma, it's Greene County Tech.
Laney White starting to fade a little bit from that Greenbrier runner. Still a lot of race to go. Only 1.5 laps completed by these runners. Palemeyer, not that big of a lead against anybody really in the front 5.
No, and this race, especially this portion of the race, it's the second lap of 4. This is where you just kind of settle into your groove. There's really no sense in making a move on anybody right now unless someone is trying to really, extend some distance on you.
Right.
So I like where Laney's at. Now, the question that I have, and I'm not trying to hate here, is we haven't seen the video yet, but what we saw was in that 4x800 how much energy she had put into that race.
Yes.
And what does it do to her ability to close here at the end of this race?
And even with that, the Palemeyer kick is going to be incredible. She's done that all season long. It's that kick that kills people.
Yep.
You got to be able to keep enough energy to get your kick in, and you're really just working for a good time here as Laney White is still fighting for that number 5 spot with Van Buren.
The impressive runner at the moment is Presley Roberts from Greenbrier sitting in 4th. She was predicted 7th here on the qualifying times. We'll see what she can do here on this last lap and 3/4.
Laney White was predicted to finish 6th in this race, as she is in 6th place right now. So if she holds right here, that's all she really needed to do, as the Lady Eagles were projected to actually win it. Yes, they were predicted to win the state championship. So if you do what you're supposed to do here, if you're Laney White, that's not a bad thing at all.
I'd like to see her go ahead and get up in at least 5th. And I mean, obviously, Palemeyer has stretched out a pretty significant lead. The Jonesboro runner, Mary Beth Bailey, is trying to run her down, but I just don't know. I mean, she is pretty impressive. It's smooth and fluid. All right, here comes Laney down into the last 100 of the 3rd lap. Still sitting in 6th place. The Van Buren runner is easily attainable for Laney. She's got some work to do if she's going to catch Greenwood or Greenbrier here.
Into the final 800 we go as Laney White prepares to cross that line and get it going. You got to pick it up here if you're Laney White. If you want to take that 5 position back, it's going to be a tough one here. Just 1 lap left, a pretty sizable distance in between you, but it's nothing impossible. Palemeyer holding steady in 1st. Behind her is the Jonesboro girl, then Greenbrier, then Greenwood.
Yeah, Palemeyer, Bailey, Roberts, Cash. I can't remember the Van Buren girl's name. Aubrey Willie. I haven't said it yet.
You have not. Aubrey Willie, then Laney White. Presley Roberts for Greenbrier was projected to finish 7th. Right now sitting in a very good spot at 3rd.
Yeah, Cash from Greenwood's going to have to do some work to chase her down to knock Presley Roberts out of 3rd. So Pielemeyer's going to get 1st.
Laney White making the round on the corner. Looks like she's going to hold 6th. I don't think we'll see anyone passing anybody on this final stretch here.
Bailey from Jonesboro in 2nd. Roberts from Greenbrier in 3rd. Cash from Greenwood 4th. Willie from Van Buren in 5th. And Laney White is going to get 6th. She's trying not to lose her runner's number that's trying to peel off of her leg. That's very important for them to be able to score your time, that the camera can pick up your number as you cross the finish line.
Can't tell if she was going for that or having something wrong with her leg.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but then I saw that number flopping in the wind a little bit, so I'm pretty sure it was the number, trying to keep that on. I sure hope it's not some sort of injury, because to set the pace here. There's also a Mountain Home Runner that's just a couple of seconds off of them, as well as a couple other guys, one from Greenbrier and one from Lake Hamilton, all grouped up there within about 4 or 5 seconds of one another on their best times of the season. And we talked about the girls running a mile in under 5.5. The boys run it in under 4.5. It's just
right.
It's bordering on insane. Yeah. So that is Lakeside out in the front.
Dylan Dew in number 1. that looks to be.
I think that's Zeke McCain from Lake Hamilton in 2,
Yes.
right there with Smithhart. And then Adams right there with him, along with, a mountain home runner and maybe somebody from Greenbrier. The Blues washed together.
So right now, Tate Smithhart 3, David Adams 4, as somebody that looks like it's a Greenbrier trying to make a move on David Adams, and he does. As is another man. So you got 2 people that just passed David Adams and Tate Smithhart who are just neck and neck right there. That's a tight-knit group in the front. We'll see if we can't get some separation on this third lap coming up, the 2.5 about to come up.
Honestly speaking, it's not really worth saying there's anybody in this place versus that one because they're so bunched up. This is anybody's race. It's almost like all of those top runners are sitting right there at the front saying, who's going to make them? Top runners are sitting right there at the front saying, who's going to make the move? Are you going to make the move? And if so, I'm going to chase you down.
And at this point, it's a chess match, really. Like you said, I'm going to chase you down. So you've got to know when to make the move. You can't do it too early, but you also can't do it too late. You've got to find that perfect moment as Tate Smithhart is just going to hang to that inside lane there. He may try to get inside of the Lakeside Ram as David Adams is still right there with the main group. This is a very impressive group at the front of the pack as Smithhart gets a little separation with Lakeside.
The Lakeside runner, I believe that's Dylan Dew. He kind of tried to separate himself right there a little bit after he crossed the 300 meter mark, and then Lake Hamilton and also Smithhart decided to go with him. But it's still pretty tight. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runners just bunched up together as Smithhart makes a little bit of a move out to the outside. He's now in second.
The Eagles need Adams to get 7 or up to hold his projected spot. He is in 7th right now. Tate Smithhart in 2nd.
I think looks like Adams has got a Lakeside runner right there on his heels.
Adams and that Lakeside runner have been going back and forth for a while now. Both of them just desperately trying not to fade away as both of them start to fade away from the main group. That's Smithhart in the 2nd spot. You've got Lakeside, Dylan Dew in 1st.
One lap to go. Lake Hamilton runner tried to make a move on Smithhart, almost got their feet tangled up, and he ends up losing a spot through trying to pick one up as the Greenbrier runner comes up in front of him. That's going to be Dominic Ward from Greenbrier.
Smithhart was able to hold strong on that move as we are in the 3rd lap now. A big moment. Ward trying to make a move on Smithhart. He's going to be able to on the outside, but does that take away a little extra gas from Ward as Smithhart is holding on to 3rd right now.
Pugh out there all by himself. Ward's going to try to go get him. We're coming down to the final 100 meters, and let's see what Tate Smithart's got left in the tank.
Tate Smithhart sitting in 3rd. You've got Dew in 1st. Smithhart getting his kick going. Tate Smithhart makes a move to the outside. He's going to pass Ward, it looks like. Tate Smithhart looking at 2nd, still fighting for it. Ward fighting back. Smithhart going to take 3rd. Tate Smithhart drops down to 3rd place as David Adams comes in 7th, right where he was projected.
Okay, that's great because at one point he was in 8th, and I didn't know if he was going to be able to pick up a spot, but apparently he did while we were focused on what Smithhart was doing up front.
Okay, Adams does come in at 8th. There was a man hiding behind that shopping cart.
That's not fair.
Throwing up, it looks like, or just trying to catch his breath. So Smithhart comes in at 3rd instead of 1st. Adams comes in at 8th. That's going to be 7 points added to the Vilonia Eagles total.
We'll take that. 7 points added to our total with none added to Texarkana's is always a good thing.
We get the thumbs up from Steve there. The stream is good.
Hey, you got to like that. Don't do nothing.
Okay, this is the 4x100, and we don't have a team in either one. Now's a good time to run one of those videos. Maybe if you can get one of those 4x800
yes, here's
relays
a 12-minute video.
Well, I think we probably have 12 minutes.
It's going to be a big moment. Stone Cold Steve Austin with some difficulties over there as we get ready for the start of this race.
So the Eagles actually are going to be on the inside of the half of runners nearest the camera here. That's going to be Sophie Havens on the lead leg for the Eagles. It's going to go Sophie Havens and then Casey Buck. Shelby Duncan's in the 3 spot, and then Lainey White is going to anchor this for the Eagles. Our main competition, which there could be others, but the main race, as it looks on the qualifying times, Grant, is between the Eagles on the inside of the back split of runners and the Lake Hamilton Wolves on the inside of the front split of runners.
Absolutely right, Corey, and it's going to be a good race. The qualifying time's only split by 3 seconds.
I think the Lady Eagles can get this one. I really do. We were talking before we went to the recording here, and we're not 100% certain if this particular group of Eagles has ran together in a meet, possibly conference last week, but there was some debate about that. Well, these are our 4 best 800 runners for the girls team, no doubt.
Absolutely. Sophie Havens going to start it off for the Lady Eagles as she gets a quick jump right after the gun on that inside lane.
So those outside runners, Grant, should be able to cut in after this first 100, and then you're going to see everyone on the inside of the track for the remainder of the run. There is a runner out there challenging Sophie right off the bat. I don't know. Oh,
that looks like a Texarkana school.
Yeah, sure does.
Sophie Havens at the front of the pack for the Lady Eagles.
Lake Hamilton runner back in the middle of the pack. I don't know if that's by design or if just the way that she runs. We'll see.
Now, that's a dangerous thing to watch, Corey, because a lot of times some of the best teams will have their first lap be one of their slower ones, and then the next 3 are just really, really fast.
Correct. I will say that from what I've seen from these Lady Eagles runners on the previous track meets of this season, they just go.
Yes.
And they all have a kick at the end. It's impressive to watch.
Sophie Havens still holding that first place spot as it looks like Van Buren's going to make a move on the outside.
Everybody kind of settling into their pace here for this, about to finish up this first 400 meters. Sophie Havens doing a great job of keeping a good running pace and really staying out there in front, leading the pack. There does come Lake Hamilton up on the inside.
The front 3 right
place.
now, Havens, followed by Van Buren, and then Lake Hamilton. Van Buren still holding on to the 2 spot right now. Looks like Lake Hamilton's going to make a move on her. Right now she'll just settle in 1, 2, 3 right there at the front, separating from the rest of the group.
Lake Hamilton runner is Malin Reyes, and the Van Buren runner is Aubrey Willie. And now, as we've done some of these other preliminaries, this is actually the final run. Whatever the team places here is what they place. There's no prelim finals in this 4x800. So this is actual 4 scoring points for the Lady Eagles.
Absolutely. Casey Buck for the Lady Eagles lining up down here just below us. Sophie Havens fought off the Van Buren runner right behind her who tried to challenge her, couldn't get her. Now we're about to get to see when Sophie Havens kick as she starts to get into it.
Looks like maybe Sheridan getting up into 3rd place, maybe even coming on up into 2nd. I can't.
Lake Hamilton still fading.
Yeah,
Lake Hamilton, she's going to lose the 4 spot, it looks like.
She's all the way back there to 4. Looks like she's going to slip to 5 as the Texarkana runner overtakes her. Sophie Havens giving it all she's got to hold on to that number 1 spot. Havens. As she's about ready to pass off to Casey Buck.
Van Buren making a great move. Buck gets the baton, clean handoff. Casey Buck, she's going to take off quickly.
Okay, that's not Sheridan, but I did not pick up on who it was. Carly, did you see which school that was? Whoever it is really giving a strong kick there. Looks like she might be going out a little bit strong.
Casey Buck just going to lose the 1 spot, it looks like. A very fast run from, I believe that's Sylvan Hills over there. I believe that is a Sylvan Hills runner.
Sylvan Hills, I think, is maybe back here in the back with the blue and the black. I'm thinking that might be Mountain Home.
Is it?
Possibly.
I'm not sure who that is.
Could be
Steve,
Marion. Those are the teams in blue. So either way, Casey Buck settling into her pace in 2nd place.
That looks like, yes, that's a Bombers on the front. That is a Mountain Home ahead of Casey Buck.
Okay.
Casey Buck not really fading, though.
No, she's not. Mountain Home was projected in the 3rd spot. Now, they were 20 seconds slower on their qualifying time than the Eagles. I suspect that either this is a runner that, like we said, maybe hadn't been in the position for Mountain Home, or, just having a really good run. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Right now, a very clear 1 and 2, and maybe even the 3 if you don't count that Van Buren runner there in the middle of the 2
Lake
packs
Hamilton's
there.
Still in 5.
Lake Hamilton making a move, though. Looks like they may take 4 before this lap is over.
That's the Texarkana runner in 4th. Like you said, Van Buren still in 3rd. Buck has maybe slightly narrowed the gap between her and the Mountain Home Runner. What I like about Casey Buck is she has a really good kick on her last.
Yes.
She kind of builds on her last 200 and has a really strong kick on the last 100. We'll see how it finishes out as she's going to be getting ready to pass off to Shelby Duncan.
You can see that Mountain Home Runner still pretty good distance ahead of Casey Buck, but nothing too crazy. And you've got 2 big seniors down here to finish it off for the Lady Eagles who can really, really close the gap well.
Both of these 2 final senior runners for the Lady Eagles are very good at the 800. Very good.
Shelby Duncan getting ready for the Lady Eagles as Mountain Home holds on to the first part. And here is Casey Buck's kick. Casey Buck giving it all she has right now. Mountain Home in the lead. Valonia with a clear second. Looks like that may be, is that Lake Hamilton back in the 3rd? Or is that still Arkansas High School?
I believe that is Lake Hamilton that's gotten back into 3rd, but a large margin between Valonia and Lake Hamilton. Duncan has the stick. I think the Mountain Home Runner widened the gap just a little bit on Casey, but Shelby Duncan is very good at the 800. That is Lake Hamilton in 3rd just now, handing off. As you see, the Eagles have approximately a 75-meter lead on the 3rd place Lake Hamilton Wolves.
And Shelby Duncan just flying right now. She is zooming, as the kids say.
She has definitely shrunk the lead on the Mountain Home Bombers.
Shelby Duncan, not very long strides, but she's not slowing those legs down at all.
Now this Lake Hamilton runner in 3rd is making up some ground too, because on the handoff, we were ahead by about 75 meters. It's about 50 now.
Duncan still pushing through, trying to force Mountain Home to fade.
I think Shelby has cut that lead in half on this first 300 meters.
Duncan really done a great job so far. We're about to get the second part of this 800 from Shelby Duncan.
Lake Hamilton runner still coming on strong. This girl from Lake Hamilton really looks like she's settled in and has a really good pace going.
Duncan may have slowed down just a little bit there at the end of the first 800. We'll get to see what her final kick is like here. This is a huge race for the Lady Eagles, who are, in fact, projected to win in first place, get a state championship. But this is a big race. If you don't get first here, that could really hurt your chances.
The important thing is here that you finish ahead of Lake Hamilton.
And we're coming back because we've got Emma Buck now in the 400-meter dash, correct?
Yes, 400-meter dash, Emma Buck. This is the first heat of, let me get back over here to my correct screen because I'm trying to monitor chat and answer questions as well. Girls, 400. Okay, so 2 heats, and they'll just take the best times. Buck with the second best qualifying time in her heat. The second heat has some pretty fast runners. Looks like Sydney Huff and Brandy Rotman are in that heat, and they are both in tops in qualifying times. Buck is a few seconds off of the top qualifying times, but that doesn't mean she can't get in the money here in the 400-meter dash, Grant.
Absolutely. Right now you need Emma Buck to run a 1 minute to 1 minute 1 second 400 here to really get a scoring position for the Lady Eagles, which when she's projected not even to score a point for the Lady Eagles here, even one here, last place here, but qualifying for points would be a huge plus for the Lady Eagles when they're trying to build a lead in the points placement. They don't really have much of a lead. 1.5 points, I believe, is what you said it was, Corey.
Right, yeah, it's not a huge lead at this point, but we are considerably better in this race than what Benton is, so we can pick up some points on them right here. You see the tape on Emma's left leg. She has been battling a little bit of an injury all the way back to the home meet at the Jerry Roberts Relays. She's fought through it. I'm not going to say she is 100%, but I'm not going to say she's not 100%. I really don't know. I just know this about the Buck girls. They're tough, and they fight, and they're good track athletes.
Absolutely right, and hopefully we get to see something amazing here from Emma Buck. If we can get, again, that 1 minute to 1 minute, 1 second time, that would be huge for the Lady Eagles.
The gun is up, Grant.
The gun is up. No starting block for Buck or really anybody in the top 5 here, it looks like.
Starting block's not a big thing in the 400-meter dash.
With that, they are off as Emma Buck is on that middle lane. One of the top times for this heat, like you said, Corey. She's going to drop back a little bit as she rounds out the first curve. Emma Buck looking at 4th place right now as somebody behind her makes a big move to step in front of her. And she's still going to be moving. Can't tell what school that is. It may be in Arkansas High School.
Yes, it is. Yep. I was just looking it up on the lane assignments. That's Arkansas. That's an Arkansas high school runner from Texarkana. Now, one thing that I've always been impressed with Emma is her finishing kick. So let's see what she can do in this final 400 as she comes around the last turn. Final 100 as she comes around the last turn.
Emma Buck in 3rd place right now for the Lady Eagles. She's going to have to fight off a Jonesboro runner above her.
Texarkana and BB in the lead in this heat. Emma is indeed fighting off that Jonesboro runner. She's going to get 3rd in this heat.
But what does that mean time-wise? We don't know as Emma Buck crosses the finish line in 3rd place in her heat. That's very good for her there to get that 3rd place spot. We'll see what we can get time-wise out of that run. Hopefully we hit that minute to minute 1 mark that we're hoping for.
Yeah, you know, the Texarkana runner was predicted to finish ahead of Emma, which she did, and then Emma and the BB runner, which was 2nd place in that heat, were basically neck and neck on qualifying times. So we'll see how it plays out as those times move on to rank against the other runners in the 2nd heat here, Grant.
And we'll see what we get in this upcoming 400. You're going to have Brandy Rotman as well as Sydney Huff in this race.
Looks like Sydney is going to be in lane 2, Sydney Huff in lane 2, Brandy Rotman in lane 3. Yes, and then the other runners to watch are going to be the Russellville runner in 4, the Little Rock Christian runner in 5, and the the Texarkana runner in lane 6. So lanes 2 through 6, very, very competitive on their qualifying times. See a few more blocks out here for this one. The Valonia runners, one choosing to use the blocks, that's Rotman, and then Huff choosing not to use the blocks.
Brandy Robin projected to finish 3rd in this race overall, which would get 6 points for the Lady Eagles. Sydney Huff looking at 7th, which would bring us 2 points, which, again, that is nothing to scoff at, as Sydney Huff scoring points here for the Lady Eagles would be another big point. Brooklyn Nicholson, the freshman from Russellville, projected to be the top finisher with a minute 27, or a minute 0 seconds, 0.27 as her top score, her top race.
You could how about
over
you
the
say
season.
A 60.27.
60.2, that seems like too much,
That's the track lingo, my friend.
Here's the thing, though, Corey. I'm not much of a track athlete. Back in the day, back in middle school to junior high, I put that life behind me. I'm up here with you guys now, so I lost the lingo a long time ago. We will get the starting gun now as Brandy Rotman's in lane 3, Huff in lane 2. Rotman really not gaining or losing position just yet. We'll see what happens later on in the race in this 400.
The Russellville runner gaining some ground on the one to her immediate right, which would be Little Rock Christian. Rotman coming on up, going to overtake Little Rock Christian
Robin's
as well.
coming on.
Brandy Rotman getting a big push here for the Lady Eagles. Huff still looking at last place right now, lined up, but will come around the curve. That's a big difference with Huff being in lane 1.
Especially the position that you see the Texarkana runner in out there on the outside. Huff and her are probably pretty much even. Huff may actually be slightly ahead once they finish the turn.
Brandy Rotman in 3rd place right now. She's got a chance to fight herself up, but she's got to hold on to 3rd. Sydney Huff moving up.
Great
Huff
job
with
by
a
Huff.
big kick. Rotman looking at 4th. She's going to fight her way
What
to
a
3rd.
surge.
Brandy Rotman does get 3rd. Sydney Huff looks like she'll get 5th.
That is outstanding effort by both of those young ladies. Sydney Huff, man, with about 60 meters to go here, it was like she just found another gear.
She just turned it on and quite literally blew by the competition.
Rotman also just all of a sudden she took these 2 huge strides and catapulted herself into third.
How about that?
Impressive.
So Brandy Rotman takes back the spot she was supposed to finish in, and Huff moves up a couple, assuming that no one in the first heat surpassed any of those top 5 times.
And you had to wonder how much gas has Rotman got in her tank. She shows she has quite a bit left.
Oh, yes. Brandy Rotman just absolutely destroying every event she's been a part of.
And she's been a part of a lot of them today.
Looks like we have a Vilonia runner in this first heat of boys 400. It's Austin Walls, qualifying time of 53:46.
So Austin Walls in lane 1 for the Eagles.
Olivia Pellmeyer from Lake Hamilton.
There you can hear some of the finishing, positions of an earlier race over the PA system.
Grant, hit me out. Which lane is Vilonia in?
1.
Okay, gotcha. I thought so.
Austin Wall in this race. Not predicted to score points for the Eagles, but we'll see what happens. We've already seen some pretty incredible things this meet. Walls in lane 1.
All right, I'm getting some resends of some of those initial pictures. I'll try to interject some of our placings here on some things we guessed on as we get a chance to.
Austin Walls again in lane 1. You need him to hit a 51-50 mark to really solidify a spot in the top 8. That's a big ask here for the Eagles as he's in lane 1 of this first heat. Also running the 400, I believe, will be Carson Linzer and Tate Smithhart, both of which are projected to finish top 5 overall. So we'll see what happens there. But for the time being, you've got Austin Walls in lane 1, hoping to hit a 51-second 400.
Grant, I don't see Smithhart's name on the start list on the boys'
So he's not going to run the 400.
Probably not going to run it. Red flag up, so I'll take this opportunity. We might have said it earlier, but I'm going to repeat it just in case. Girls long jump, Brandy Rotman getting a new Vilonia school record with a 17-foot 4.5 inches. That was good enough for third place. Let's see what else I've got here. Girls 4x800. We have that on the videos. I was checking these.
Hey, how about this? Keith Bolton, Steve.
He's here.
He is here. It's been a while,
Here we
my
go.
main
Here we
man,
go. We're
Keith
set.
Bolton, as we get ready for the race. Austin Walls in lane 1. Gun is up and it's off as the runners take off. Walls in lane 1. He's going to start off a little quick there. Walls looking to make a quick push in the opening curve. Austin Walls stepping up a place or 2 already. He's in lane 1 for the Eagles.
He's moving up.
Walls. He's got a little speed to him there. Austin Walls still moving up, closing the gap in between himself and Lake Hamilton here. In the front there, that appears to be Russellville.
Wow, Wall's doing a really
Austin
good job
Walls.
there.
He's looking at a top 4, fighting for a top 4, could be a top 5. How is his final kick? We're about to find out. Austin Walls holding on to 4. Can he keep it? Austin Walls still at 4, and I think he may have got it.
By a finger.
I think he may have got it. That arm stretch may have gotten it for him.
You know,
That's an incredible performance.
I'm going to say that Smithhart was held out of this race probably to save some leg for a later race, like a 4x4.